0-6 start the past 7 games for Jimmy Howard. Just a 1-1-2 record in his return after sitting 10 with a bad groin. And he'll face the Sharks' 16-goal scorer, defenseman Brent Burns. The Wings and Sharks, the only 2 NHL teams to make the playoffs every year since 2006. But that list may be down to 1 if the Sharks don't get their act together. Hello again, everyone. Ken Daniels alongside Chris Osgood. The Red Wings arrive here from Los Angeles after scoring no goals and picking up no points. The effort was there, however, but just not enough against the defending Stanley Cup champs.
In 4 games, 2-1-1 are your Red Wings. Really played a great game in Chicago, shootout victory. Obviously, Jimmy Howard getting his first shootout win of the season in Dallas in a wild game. Red Wings had to come back 2 times from 2-goal deficits to win 7-6 in overtime. Really played a solid 50 minutes in Anaheim. Let that game slip away. I thought in Los Angeles, Ken, they played a very good game. I thought they played a solid 60 minutes. Really battled hard. Just couldn't get one past Jonathan Quick, the goaltender of Los Angeles Kings. If they could get 3 points remaining and give themselves 8 points on this trip, they'd be thrilled against the difficulty of this competition they've played so far.
And they've got Nashville on Saturday afternoon right here on Fox Sports Detroit. No Henrik Zetterberg tonight. No Henrik Zetterberg for Saturday. Likely return against the Rangers at home next Wednesday. So until then, Riley Sheahan continues to be relied upon heavily.
Yeah, and he sure has played great on this trip, Ken. 1 goal, 2 assists so far, but he's had to play some tough minutes. He's been thrusted into the number 2 center position, had to play against some tough competition. Wow, has he ever. He's been skating fast. This guy's a big 4, 6'3", 222, exactly what the Wings need. A power forward. He's young. He's hit a career high with 10 goals, 28 points this year, but really takes the puck to the net. He's been good on the draws and has really held his own against the other team's good competition, scoring the tying goal against the Ducks in Anaheim. Has really been solid moving to that number 2 center position.
This San Jose team is struggling. Just 2 wins, they're past 8. Their general manager says they're a team of tomorrow. But what about today? What does that say to the players? Because it's unlikely, Chris, at Monday's trade deadline that they're going to be buyers, and they're just a couple of points out.
And this is a team that's really been a miss all year. They just can't right the ship. Marleau and Thornton, they're 2 guys that have been the pinnacles of this team for years, have struggled. Defensively, they're both minus players. They just haven't had that commitment they usually had to defense. So who leads this team now? Pavelski, very good player. He's 30 years old. Couture, a great young stud for this Sharks team. These are the 2 go-to guys now, with Marleau with only 12 goals this year and Thornton struggling. Really, it's these 2 guys they look to. They have Burns and some other guys. Niemi has been the same, and they just haven't had that same home dominance that they're used to here in San Jose.
And remember, both Thornton and Marleau in the past, they're still present, and without the C's on their sweaters, it must be a different dynamic in that dressing room. San Jose's had terrific success against Detroit of late. Winners of 4 in a row and 11 of 14, and 2 coaches, good friends, and cup winners together in 2008. One signed for next season, the other isn't. But who knows where either will be come next September. Red Wings hockey on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Ram, official truck of the Detroit Red Wings. By Myers, save big with M-Perks from Myers. Sign up at mperks.com. And by Xfinity, your home for most live sports.
First 10 minutes is always imperative here. It seems like if you can weather the first 10 minutes here in San Jose, you got a good chance. So that's, first and foremost tonight is getting off to a good start.
And our Southeast Michigan Ford dealers, Jimmy Howard got a point last outing in Anaheim, a shootout loss, but knows he needs a bounce-back game tonight by his own admission. A couple of goals allowed were not good. And for San Jose, Antti Niemi, a soon-to-be unrestricted free agent, unlikely to be moved by Monday, but likely to be elsewhere next season. A Cup winner with Chicago, and against Detroit, his last 12 starts, Niemi 10-1-1 with a .947 save percentage. Well, Logan Couture starts at center, and it looks like Todd McClellan wants his line against the line of Pavel Datsyuk with Darren Helm and Thomas Tatar. Couture flanked by Wingels and Marleau, numbers 57 and 12 respectively. Chris Rooney and Kyle Raymond working the game tonight, the same duo that worked the game in Los Angeles. The Red Wings 1-0 setback to the Kings, who scored early on the power play and made it stand up in front of Jonathan Quick. Here's Datsyuk into the San Jose zone. The Sharks have Burns on defense, along with Marc-Edouard Vlasic, so they'll key on Pavel Datsyuk's unit as Wingels brings it in. Good recovery by Pavel Datsyuk. who did manage to get one ahead for Tatar out of the reach of Kindle. And the Sharks will take over as both teams get their first changes of the game. On the wing for Joe Pavelski, their leading goal scorer and point getter with 31 and 55 respectively for the Sharks, number 8. Out there along with number 68, Melker Karlsson. The Swedish player has the puck now. Leaves it for Pavelski. Joe Thornton, the other member of this line. Todd McLellan putting Thornton and Pavelski back together again. He's done that off and on this season, saying they've been their best duo together the past couple of years. Abdelkader forces Braun into the corner, who gets help in there from Brendan Dillon, who came over from Dallas in a trade for Jason Demers. Puck on the near side as it's batted ahead, but not out by Thornton. Now Joe Thornton has it, and he'll settle back. Thornton with 51 points, third on this Sharks team. Puck came into the zone, bumped off stride there was Tomas Hertl, number 48. Moving in to get it, the veteran defenseman Hannon, picked up there by Smith to Glendening. And the Red Wings will get it to center. Glendening sending one in out along with Yurko and Miller, did so from his own side of center. This will be icing against Detroit.
And here are the standings with the Red Wings with 77 points, still in the top 3 in the Atlantic Division. Boston Bruins, who at the trade deadline could be busy with 67 points, just barely holding on to a playoff spot. And the Florida Panthers, who traded for Jaromir Jagr. That's a big pickup for them. A lot of young stars on that team. Getting a player like that to go on that power play together with those young players they do have could thrust them into the playoffs past the Boston Bruins, who've really been struggling of late.
That's the voice of Chris Osgood along with Ken Daniels. Glad you're with us tonight on Fox Sports Detroit and in Canada on Sportsnet 360. As that's sent in front of the Red Wing benches, Yurko's got it into the Shark zone. Yurko backhander, showing those slick skills he has, and the Red Wings would like to see more of that from Thomas Yurko.
Yeah, that all started with a great win of the draw in the Red Wing zone. They wanted a line change. They got a quick change, and Yurko did a great job moving his feet. Good opportunity.
Sharks out of their own zone, flipping one back was Matt Irwin. San Jose just dumps one back into Red Wing territory where Kronwall put it niftily through the legs of Tomas Hertl, and turning is Joakim Andersson. Into the San Jose zone with 5 Sharks back. Forces Mark-Edward Vlasic, who bumped it back for Burns. To the line for DeKeyser to send it back in, and the Sharks carry out through center. Mishandled on that attempt. And Stephen Weiss gives it back to the Detroit defense, who see a change coming. Jakob Kindl to center. Off the stick of Pavel Datsyuk, who's out with Tatar and Helm. Vlasic into the corner. As Tatar checked him, moved ahead, intercepted by Helm, who now has to get on his horse and get in front of Wingels. And a good defensive play, and Datsyuk whirling back with it at center ice to make the play. For Tatar. Tatar with 24 goals and 44 points in the season, both personal best for him. Helm back to the line, Marchenko just whistled a shot wide of Antti Niemi. Datsyuk couldn't get through. Couture able to move the puck. On to Marleau. A struggling season for Marleau with just 12 goals. And a team worst -13 for the 35-year-old.
And the San Jose Sharks are definitely in a change in their team concept. Marleau, not the same player as at 35, slowed down a little bit. His hands just aren't quite as sharp as they used to be.
Hands do go with age, don't they?
As long as foot speed, and Marleau obviously was a quick player for a lot of years. Just doesn't have that foot speed he used to have, but still a very good player.
Boy, every year you look at the stats, and Marleau's up there around 30 goals, and you think, how does he get there? Well, this year he hasn't been able to. Kept in at the point by Jonathan Eriksson. In for Gus Nyquist. 21 goals in the season for Nyquist. Couldn't keep it in Sharks territory. A long shot in wide. And Howard will paddle back to the corner. Pavelski in back of the goal gets checked. Boy, Joe Pavelski, a 7th-round pick. Loose in front and held there with Pavelski at the periphery of the crease. And Jimmy Howard with no rebound with their leading scorer right there. Boy, a 7th-round pick was Pavelski, 205th overall in 03.
And Yurko with the opportunity, moved his feet. This is a nifty move, a little spin around, but just misses with the backhander. And Marchenko with a nice chance. And Marchenko's done a good job here on this road trip of jumping in and realizing when he has an offensive opportunity. Marchenko's a very smart player, come from the Russian Elite League. Very good player out there for the Red Wings, defensively and offensively.
Well, we finally get to see in game what so many have seen on YouTube with Thomas Yurko's Video sensation of his puck-moving ability. Irwin back in for Tomas Hertl. First-round pick in 2012. Number 48 for the Sharks. Glendening able to block the path to the net as Hertl got it again. Quick shot, Howard save. The Kaiser defending, keeping his man boxed out from in front. Came loose in front of the goal again. Failing to get to the puck was James Shepard at San Jose. Red Wings to the line, but it's held in by Hertl. Good pressure, the crowd here in San Jose appreciating what the Sharks are doing in the Red Wing zone, but long shot goes off the skate and wide. They continue to press. Loose side of the goal came right in front of the net. And out of desperation, the Red Wings just get it down the ice. Icing against Detroit. Well, Todd McLellan, Chris will like what his team started tonight because his team right there you see on the outside of the playoff picture, and what a tough road it will be to get in to continue to join the Red Wings as the only team in the playoffs since 2006.
And with 21 games remaining on the outside looking in, Sharks are in playoffs right now. They're in playoff mode. They need to win these games. Can't afford to lose 2 or 3 games in a row. Could get himself in a really tough position.
They've only won 2 of their past 8, and in their last 6 in this building, they've lost them all. 0-4-2. They have not lost 7 straight at home since March of '95.
Which is very un-Shark-like. They used to own teams in this building.
And they've owned the Red Wings, though. They've had their number for sure. They've won their last 4 against Detroit, and 11-2-1 against the Red Wings the past 14 meetings. Thornton's got it. Turning with it. Centering one. 39 assists for Thornton, one of the best passers this game has known. To the line for Burns. Over the stick of Thornton. To the other side goes Melker Karlsson with some help from Pavelski. Good outlet there by Kindle. Look at the Sharks defense pinch in as Burns stopped Yurko in his tracks.
Yeah, Burns very aggressive, and a lot of teams, especially San Jose, really jump on that Red Wings play in the defensive zone where they like to go up the middle. Red Wings got to be careful.
What do you think about Brent Burns, who is a defenseman, and there are many think that he should be a forward, but the Sharks as an organization has said, no, you're a defenseman.
And they gave up a lot for him, including a first-round draft pick from the Minnesota Wild. He was a defenseman when they traded for him. Really pressing for him to be D-man. He would like to be a forward. He struggled defensively. He's -2 this season. And to me, as a goaltender, Ken, I would like to see him on defense. On forward, he's in front of you with that big body. He really creates some havoc. He's got a great shot. He doesn't seem to be as dangerous offensively from the back there.
Well, Mike Babcock's had to use his timeout early. What with the tired lot and all the icings, and he'll settle things down here. And with that, we'll be back in a moment. Don't panic, he says. Pavel Datsyuk, 6 goals his past 6 games, 7 points his past 4. The Red Wings used their timeout as it's chipped in, and now they'll get a change going. So wisely used by the Red Wing head coach, although he would have liked to not have had to use it as early as he did. As the Red Wings will shoot it back in. And the play will be stopped. Well, a wealthy NHL team was able to buy cap space today. The Leafs winners off the ice, if not on it, and we'll explain in a moment. I think even Doug Wilson was impressed with what Dave Nonis did today of the Toronto Maple Leafs in a deal with Columbus, who had an uninsured contract on Nathan Horton to move and wanted a player to fill that void, and the Leafs moved a player they didn't want in David Clarkson, and were able to move what many thought was an unmovable contract. As Chris told you earlier about the Jaromir Jagr deal, and the thing is about Nathan Horton, his contract was not insured in Columbus because of the different injuries he had, so he'll continue to get paid by the Maple Leafs, but they'll take the cap space. They move from Clarkson, put him on long-term IR, spend to the cap, and they get some cap space, Toronto. So it was a great move, and Columbus gets a player that hopefully they can use.
And a great job by Nonis and Shanahan to unload that contract. They seem that they're in full rebuilding mode. They've fallen down the standings enough now where they might even have an opportunity, if they continue to struggle, to get in the sweepstakes for the 2 young stars that are going to be available for the draft this year.
For sure, and because Columbus was paying Nathan Horton at anyway, now they get to at least get a player in their lineup who will be there for a while, and Clarkson making similar money to what Nathan Horton is, and who knows if Nathan Horton can ever play again. We hope he can. Good player, but not so sure. So a good deal, and you spoke of the Jagr deal, and he'll get a chance, as we showed you the standings, to try to get Florida in, as you were speaking of. Here's Pavelski. Put it back into the slot. To the line it comes for Hannon. in and had a backpedal, was off balance a bit, gives it to Joe Thornton. To the line for Irwin, scores!
The San Jose Sharks, nice puck movement in the Red Wings zone. Irwin just floats one through a crowd of players. Nyquist has got to figure out a way to get in front of that shot and block that. You can't allow a wrist shot to come all the way through like that. As well as the defense, they got to figure out how to block as well, and Howard needs to do a better job of finding that puck and getting his eyes on it and making that save. That's just an easy wrist shot from the point. The Red Wings aren't going to be happy about giving up that first goal here tonight.
And the Sharks have really been pressing in the Red Wings zone. And we've just played over 7 minutes into this game, and they've got the 1-0 lead. They've had 4 days off, San Jose has. Sort of a mini camp since playing outside Saturday. And the 2-1 loss at Levi Stadium to the Los Angeles Kings. San Jose in the midst of 4 straight at home, or as I mentioned, they're winless in six. Here's Weiss at center, tapped it into the Shark zone. San Jose in a string of 8 of 9 at home. And they're on 7 on the road, including a stop in Detroit. On March 26th, 10 of the Sharks' final 13 games will be away from this building. So they really need to pick up points here because the last 4 weeks of the season is going to be really tough. Joe Thornton getting the lone assists on Irwin's 6th of the year at 7:06. As we'll get a face-off coming up outside the San Jose blue line. Red Wings still without a shot on goal in this game.
Yeah, and Thornton just sails this back. It's Irwin who just floats one through. Nyquist has got to do a better job of getting the shooting lane there. Red Wings allowing that wrist shot to come all the way through on Howard. Each and every one of the Wings could have done a better job to keep that puck out of the net. The Red Wings as a team have to buckle down here and start to play better. 0 shots so far in this hockey game.
Puck back there for Vlasic. Glendening moved up. And there's a hard hit by Brendan Smith, and the Thomas Hertl forced that turnover. Comes to the line to Kaiser. It's loose in the slot. Miller did all he could to try to get to that puck. Couldn't do it. Sent wide by Matt Nieto. Boy, the Sharks hitting it every turn, and there's Hertl going right back at Brendan Smith, who held his stick a little bit. The fans here wanted a penalty, but Smith had nailed Hertl at the other end of the ice, and Hertl then made sure to finish his check on Brendan Smith. Now there's a penalty coming to San Jose. Chris Rooney making the call. Sit down, he says.
50 seconds, San Jose, 2 minutes roughing.
So Wingels going for roughing.
Well, the coaching staff of San Jose isn't going to be happy about this. This is an undisciplined play by Wingels. Your team is playing well. The shots are 7-1 in your favor. Momentum is in your direction. And you take a needless, selfish penalty here. Smith just going on a line change, and Wingels comes over and gives him a shot as he's going into the bench, and that's going to put the Wings on a power play here.
It'll be a Bell Tire power play that was 0 for 5 against Los Angeles. It cost them in the loss. The first game they didn't get any points on this trip thus far. Kronwall couldn't keep it in. But 9 power play goals for the Red Wings the past 10 games. Their power play clicking at just over 25%. The league average is around 18%. Datsuk too far there for Tatar, allowed Vlasic to slap it back down. Sharks penalty killing has struggled, especially at home their last 13, just 25%. But the Red Wings aren't testing them here so far.
The Red Wings just don't seem sharp right now in the first 10 minutes of this hockey game.
And again, Henrik Zetterberg not in tonight. Maybe back next Wednesday at home against the Rangers as Helm carries in. Helm forced wide and a good defensive play there by Braun. Teemu Pulkkinen out for the Red Wings. Kept in at the point by Weiss. Dropped it off there for Pulkkinen. Pulkkinen shooting one. Loose for Weiss. Back for Pulkkinen again. Getting it one more time, but that was right in his wheelhouse, but he couldn't shoot it. He wants it again. He's all set to fire. Kronwall. He'll shoot. That's blocked. And sent the link to the ice, and a good block by Matt Nieto, and that stung him. He's bent over at the Sharks bench. Here comes Helm, stops just inside the line. Helm trying to get some space for himself, managed to get it over to Sheahan. Checked by Vlasic. And down it goes, Barclay Goodrow.
Well, the Sharks have been on it here on this penalty kill. Struggled at home, but so far really jumping on the puck, being aggressive against the Red Wings. Same as the LA Kings, and teams watch games. They could have watched that tape and see how they were successful against the Wings. They're doing the exact same thing here as Los Angeles did.
Datsuk trying to fight his way through, and the play is called on the offside. While Datsuk's carrying the load, and he's done a great job of that without the captain, Henrik Zetterberg. More on the absent Z when we come back.
Welcome back, and this morning at the Red Wings pregame skate. This is a great sight for Red Wing fans. Henrik Zetterberg back on the ice, and without a practice tomorrow, and no skate with an afternoon game in Nashville. In all likelihood, Henrik Zetterberg will not be back in this road trip. Probably will be back against the Rangers at home, and this is how he's injured. Concussion-like symptoms, says he's feeling. And to me, that could have been a suspension. That's a shot with the glove to the head. And that's exactly what happened right there at Henrik Zetterberg. You've seen him say, he said recently that it was a hockey play, just a battle on the ice, and a lot worse has happened. But to me, that could possibly have warranted a suspension.
Yeah, it was the last one that really got him, too. The first one's a hockey battle, and then the last one becomes...
And he was vulnerable at the time of the third hit, so to me, it could have been.
The Sharks have it in the Red Wing zone where it's been most of this period. And a delayed penalty here coming to Detroit. Howard makes the save to the corner as Brendan Smith touches, hooking the call. Chris Rooney.
Detroit, number 26, 2 minutes hooking.
Well, San Jose gets to work on the power play now. 7th best in the league.
And Yurko's just going to go off with a little hook here. Not much of a hook on Nieto, but enough to warrant a penalty. And San Jose's got a very good power play. The Red Wings are going to need to be sharp here.
Kronwall tried to jam it across, and he did, and it's sent the length of the ice by Drew Miller on Antti Niemi. Plenty of talk around Niemi here in San Jose. Unlikely to be moved by Monday, but an unrestricted free agent to be. Thornton carries in deep into the Red Wing zone. Dropped it for Couture to the line for Pavelski. Takes the shot wide of the goal. Marleau to Burns. Couture on the left wing. Looked for a redirect, got it, but sent over top of the goal. San Jose with plenty of firepower out there as Pavelski's got it again. Burns to his right with it now, top of the circle. Wrist shot, Howard, good save there with the left hand to hold on.
San Jose doing a nice job to move that puck around, and Burns, who has a rocket of a shot, steps into this, and Jimmy Howard does a good job of looking around. Big Joe Thornton, this is a big man in front of him. Howard does a great job of looking over that left side of Thornton and finding that puck and making a nice glove save off Burns.
Burns for Setaguchi, Charlie Coyle in a first round to the Wild. Burns came with a second. You can say he's been defense all season, 16 goals. 45 points for him. Pavelski on the face-off, maybe not. Joachim Anderson stays in. Joe Thornton comes in for the Sharks. Pavelski waved out. Thornton got it back for Pavelski anyway. Knocked down by Brendan Smith. Kept in at the line by Burns. For Marleau, back into the slot. Good stick check there by Brendan Smith with help from Abdelkader. Celebrated a birthday yesterday, 28 years old. Back into the corner from Marleau. Couture to the line, Burns for Thornton. Abdelkader on him quickly, got it to the line, tried to block it again, and with help from DeKaiser down the ice it goes.
It's a good read by Danny DeKaiser, noticing Thornton was under pressure, back to the play, and that's why he jumped that play and was able to get hold of that puck and shoot it down.
Dangerous play by Eriksson, did get to the line. Kronwall getting a stick in there along with Glendening, then a cross-check or two from Eriksson. Glendening tying it up. Hurdle able to move it back to the line to Marc-Edouard Vlasic, who faked the shot. In tight on Howard, knocked away. Wingels goes after along with the goal scorer Irwin. Wingels put it back to the line. Penalty over. Yurko out of the box. Now the Red Wings try to get organized at even strength. Howard the save out of the glove, and Wingels has it for San Jose. Mishandled on the pass to the line, brought on by Miller. Got to center, but no further. Here's number 68, Carlson, got it back into Detroit territory. So the Sharks fail on that power play try. Had a couple of shots on it. A couple of their 10 have come in that regard. And the man advantage. You see just the one shot in this game for Detroit with 6 to go in the period. Great play by Datsyuk to Kindle, purposely wide. First on it is Justin Braun. And the Sharks just clear it out to center. Marchenko was stepped into by Nieto. Then Datsyuk was hit by Brendan Dillon. Dillon acquired for Demers in mid-November. The Sharks chose physicality over puck moving in that deal for Demers. Halkinen goes for it for Detroit, up along with Weiss. Weiss couldn't get to the puck. The Sharks do lift it to center for Thornton. He was checked immediately by Joachim Anderson. Niemi for Dillon. Back on the near side. Played back over to Dillon by Braun. Off the stick of Polkinen allowed the Red Wings to recover. Both teams in the midst of changes, so Brendan Smith waits. Abdelkader missed the tip in, and this will result in an icing against Detroit. Well, your local Toyota dealers brings you the report card on the current playoff streaks in the National Hockey League. The Red Wings approaching their 24th consecutive playoff season, as we say. Since 05-06, only 2 teams, the Red Wings and Sharks, have made the playoffs every year. And San Jose and Todd McClellan and Jay Woodcroft, the former Red Wing coaches. Oh, good save by Howard. Nearly knocked the stick out of his hands on that Marleau shot. Former Red Wings assistant coaches are on the outside looking in for San Jose right now. And good tip ahead for Nyquist. Gets it into Shark territory. Nyquist interfered with on the way in. And Niemi able to play it, but then it was blocked. Turning is Sheahan. Had to come right back to him again. Riley Sheahan, good move inside the line. He's got a great shot and uses it. And that one Niemi saved. And this time it's the San Jose Sharks who ice the puck as the Red Wings have their second shot of the game, and it was a hard one coming from Riley Sheahan, who's got a personal best 10 goals and 28 points.
Yeah, the big Riley Sheahan. I'm really surprised at his awareness, where he is on the ice, his intelligence on the ice, as well as he's a power forward, he's a big guy, but he really has soft hands. This is a great move, fakes back to the point, which enables him to get some room in the high slot and take that shot. Red Wings probably would have wished they would have had that same traffic.
Loose in front of the goal, there's a penalty upcoming. And they're calling Helm for interference. So when we come back, the Red Wings will be shorthanded. Darren Helm right there for goaltender interference. You're watching Red Wings hockey on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Thank you, Johnny Kane and Darren Helm in the box for interference. Try to get another look at that one. As the Sharks on a power play, and now we will get a look at it as Howard makes the save. And I want to get Chris Osgood's thoughts, considering Antti Niemi came out of the crease. So what do you think?
Yeah, Darren Helm just going to the net like he's supposed to on this wrist shot by Kindle. And really, Niemi pushes out into Helm. You can see Helm skates. He's trying to stop. He's trying to avoid the contact with the goaltender. Niemi's a good 3 feet out of the crease. To me, that's just a hockey play that's going to happen every now and then and doesn't award a penalty in my estimation.
Face off to the right of Howard. Only 5 seconds having elapsed on this San Jose power play, their second of the game. Good clear by Detroit. Burns leads the Shark attack to center. Getting it back from Couture, but knocked away. Eriksson stick in the lane. Brent Burns. To Marleau. Shot was blocked by Miller up high. Pavelski got in front of the clear around. Miller tried to nudge it back. Pavelski, good work to get it to Couture. Marleau. For Joe Thornton. Sharks with 3 down low. Burns to Couture. To Thornton. To Marleau. Quick shot. Howard got it up high. Big rebound in front of the goal. And there's interference as Couture ran into Howard, as I can see Chris Osgood's hands to my right going, huh? Here's Marleau. Moving in with it. To Couture. Miller was on him, no shot. Flipping it back to Logan Couture again for Thornton. Look for a redirect, block Kronwall in front. Putting it back to the line again to Couture. Now to Joe Thornton. And helps set up the first goal along with Scott Hannon. That one from Irwin. Quickly moved to Thornton. Face-off in front. And pinball back to the near side, but a nice setup with Pavelski right there to the right of Howard. 15 to go, man advantage for the Sharks. Couture to Thornton. Great control, save Howard, rebound out front. And Howard able to get it on the second try. Great puck movement by San Jose. Well, you can get the $59 fan pack when the Wings take on David Clarkson in the Columbus Blue Jackets. Thursday, March 12th. You'll get 2 tickets, 2 food vouchers, and 2 soft drinks. For tickets, go to DetroitRedWings.com now.
It's a good battling save by Jimmy Howard. The importance of him to cover this puck was huge. The Red Wing players out there for a minute 52 seconds trying to kill off that penalty. They were exhausted. Howard was able to get a handle of that and cover that up so the Red Wings get new players on the ice.
Face-off win there by the Red Wings and Brendan Smith, and helped in Datsuk to get it to center. So the Sharks fail on that power play try, but not for a lack of trying. 0 for 2 on their power play. 4 shots on that last one. 6 total of their 14 in the game. They come with the man advantage. The Red Wings did not get a shot on their 1 power play try tonight. Trying to bust through was Nieto. Datsuk. As Helm missed it, but it found its way to Tatar. Puts on the brakes. Tatar looks for some open ice, sends it rink wide. Marchenko for Datsuk. Pavel Datsuk waiting. Somehow found Tatar, and a piece of that by Niemi. Pavel Datsuk, always so patient. With it again. Moving back through. Datsuk getting it back. Marchenko finds Kindle. Too hot to handle. Goes to get it back in front. Datsuk trying to get free. He couldn't. Brought to center by Shepard, but no further as Helm gets it into the San Jose zone. Half minute to go in this opening period. Sheahan came over to cover out with Nyquist and Abdelkader. Irwin, game's goal scorer for Thornton to center. Nyquist turning in his own line, feeds it back for Kronwall. Play onside for Abdelkader as Jonathan Eriksson with offensive foray with seconds to go in the period. Sheahan to the line, but the period will come to its conclusion. Wide edge in shots for San Jose, and they get the 1 goal. Irwin from Thornton and Hannon at 7:06. Trevor Thompson with yours truly, Ken Daniels and Chris Osgood, and Trevor will guest with Drew Miller and the importance of blocking shots. And in our Ram Intermission studio tonight, it's Darren Elliott and Johnny Kane.
Welcome back to San Jose. The teams are getting ready here for the start of the second period. Let's take a look at the Flagstar Bank Star Watch. Pavel Datsyuk, you see right there, 3-time Selke Trophy winner. So Henrik Zetterberg, he has been the Red Wings' best player in this road trip. And has really played well. Physical player, Mike Babcock saying he was the best two-way player in the world. And I would have to agree with that comment. This is the type of player that young players coming into the league emulate, try to play like very, very respected player in the National Hockey League.
6 consecutive Selke finalists for Best Defensive Forward. That's an NHL record. And the 3 Selke wins in 08, 09, and 10. He was the first in history to win the Selke and the Lady Byng in back-to-back seasons. 4 consecutive Lady Byng trophies from 06 through 09 for most gentlemanly player. And we've seen through the intermissions here on Fox Sports Detroit the 13 characteristics to make up Pavel Datsyuk. And
a number that's scary to meet, plus 241 for his career. Great defensive player, and to go with those unbelievable offensive skills makes him one of the best players in the world.
Scary to those against him, and Logan Couture's been against him for most of this night tonight. The San Jose Sharks 15-1-1 when leading after 1. That's the 3rd best in the league, but on comes Helm, who's in. A save by Niemi. As Helm could have answered back that quickly here to start the second period. As Brent Burns has it for San Jose, is passed to Couture, met immediately by Smith, and turned over as a result. Back in for Tatar. Late man coming is to Kaiser, and the shot sailed just wide of the goal. Pavel Datsyuk corrals that puck in the corner, trying to fend off the check of Marleau. Datsyuk cuts toward the goal. Marleau staying with him. Datsyuk to the line to Smith. Lane to the goal was blocked by Wingels, who got in front to prevent a Smith attempt on goal. And Logan Couture has it on the left wing side, who scored his first NHL goal November of 09. It came against Detroit, and it came against Chris Osgood. He scored 132 since then. Niemi the save off the Abdelkader shot. You've given up a few firsts in your career, but you gave it up to a good one. Couture has proven to be quite a hockey player.
I'm pretty sure there's lots of guys in that club, and Darren Helm with a nice opportunity off Niemi. Not only makes one save with that left pad, but sticks with it, extends out once again, and Helm just couldn't elevate that puck over the glove and pad, and Niemi. Nice pass by Smith started that play out, and Helm almost finished that off.
Darren Helm with the 13 goals, a career high, 29 points, his personal best in that regard, 32. Nyquist met immediately as Abdelkader came over to try to get it. Got knocked down, though. Braun the other way for Brendan Dillon. Back at center for Eriksson. Tapped one right in the tunnel. Heading toward the San Jose dressing room, so we'll get a stop in play. 21 goals and 43 points on the season for Gus Nyquist, the native of Sweden, who says he prefers to go by Gus rather than Gustav. And his time at the University of Maine and been in North America so long, he said, no one calls me Gustav anymore.
And he's a simple guy. It doesn't surprise me at all. He likes to simplify his name. Gus is what we're going to call him. And he's been having a very good year for the Red Wings.
Led the nation in scoring in his time as a sophomore at Maine in the 09-10 season. And the Hobey Baker finalist each of his final 2 collegiate seasons. Kindle stayed with it, got it to Miller. Glendening checked, but a good outlet there to center by Detroit. Sharks in the midst of a change, tapped in the rest of the way by Miller. Back to get it as Irwin for the Sharks. And then stepped into hard was Hertl by Glendening, and he forces the icing, so the faceoff will come back into the San Jose zone.
Glendening, a nice aggressive shift. It's been a great addition for the Red Wings. 4th line center, spent some time in the 3rd line as well, but earning Mike Babcock gives him some more ice time because he's confident. He's very reliable defensively. He's chipped in offensively as well this year. 7 goals.
Was the highest scoring rookie in the American Hockey League playoffs back in 12-13 when Grand Rapids, who's been on a roll lately, won the Calder Cup. Good play by DeKaiser and Anderson coming back on Matt Nieto, who spent a couple of years in Ann Arbor, the U.S. National Team Development Program. The Kaiser with a long pass that was tipped by Anderson, taken though by Brent Burns. Right back the other way. And a good play at center by Chris Tierney, but the Sharks couldn't get through. Here's Weiss. Blocker to side by Niemi. Up high for Tierney. Tierney out there with Barclay Goodrow. Number 89. Spent a season at the Red Wings prospect tourney, their development camp. One of 5 camps that Goodrow attended on his path to the NHL. Tierney couldn't get past Anderson as the Sharks get it deep. Datsuk turns with it. But then too many men, will it be? Let's see. Or just a call being made at the San Jose line off the change where the puck came out. Oakland University brings you the scouting report and the home-road comparison. The Red Wings and the San Jose Sharks the last 15 games. You can see how San Jose has struggled at home. The goals per game virtually the same as the Red Wings on the road, but the goals against Niemi and company have had problems here in San Jose, where they've lost their last 6 in this building and have only won 2 of their past 8 overall. This is a Sharks team, Chris, you'll remember, that had a 3-0 series lead on Los Angeles last April when the Kings really did the unthinkable and kept on rolling from there.
And you wonder how much that affects the team moving forward. The players will say they don't remember, don't think about it, but obviously a lot of things, domino effects of that. They've struggled all year. They've been up and down. Could be a possibility that's really affected their mentality.
Knocked down on the way through as Datsuk's got it. Datsuk cuts to the goal, and a hooking penalty coming here to San Jose. Brent Burns will argue the case all the way to the box. Kyle Raymond saying no.
San Jose 88, 2 minutes for hooking.
Datsuk getting inside of Burns, and Burns had no choice but to take Datsuk's stick and really nullified the scoring chance. The referee's going to make that call each and every time. Nice opportunity for Datsuk to get a scoring opportunity against Niemi, and Burns came in, taking away his stick. Red Wings have another opportunity here on a power play.
So the Red Wings on a bell tire power play is Shane Polkinen, great feed to Weiss. Back in front of the goal, and Helm had a try, and he couldn't bury it. Helm with another shot, and Niemi fought it off. Marleau to the line, and Kindle couldn't keep it in. Back in for Teemu Polkinen. To the line for Jakob Kindle, shooting one, saved by Niemi. Polkinen across to Weiss, backhand, forehand, and it was blocked. Polkinen with it again for Kindle. To Weiss, one more time, shot blocked, broken stick for Vlasic. So the Sharks down a man, down a stick, Weiss to the middle. Vlasic still blocking, scores! Wide open, Polkinen! Power play goal, and this game's all even at 1.
Polkinen with some beautiful cross-ice passes on this power play prior to this goal, but nice awareness by Weiss to realize Vlasic's lost his stick. He's a defenseman. No forwards near enough to get in their stick. He's really vulnerable, and the Red Wings attacked him, got to the net, and it bounced over to Polkinen, who gets into the open net. But right here, Weiss, beautiful awareness to attack Vlasic, not give this puck away. He tries to get it through. The Red Wings do a good job of getting this back, putting it over to Polkinen, who slams it home into the open net.
Second National Hockey League goal for Teemu Polkinen, who was leading the American Hockey League in scoring with 30 goals and 57 points when he got called up to the Red Wings for the second time this season, 5 games ago. And the Red Wings have themselves another bell tire power play goal, their 10th the past 11 games. So it's taken advantage. The league's best power play against the Sharks penalty killing that has really struggled, especially here at home.
Weiss did a good job, like I said, of attacking Vlasic and then Polkinen, just slamming this home run. Shane with a nice shovel pass. What I like about Polkinen there is he really buried it. He made sure that was in the net past Niemi, who's quick side to side.
Well, Polkinen does like to bury him. I mean, he lets nothing off on the shot.
He slammed that
Normally
home.
it's a good one-timer, and that was from in tight.
And you always notice that with goal scorers is when they have a chance to put that puck in, they make sure it's in. And He did that just there.
So all even at 1. As the Red Wings, who were shut out 2 of the past 5 games by Carey Price and Jonathan Quick, coming into this one tonight and didn't muster much in period number 1, being badly outshot. But taking the edge now, as you can see, 15-11 are the shots after the Red Wings were outshot 14-4 in the first period. Sheahan and Weiss getting the helpers on the Pulkkinen power play goal. And Southgate Lincoln brings you tonight's fun fact. Although Nashville lost tonight, Detroit and the Predators, the only teams in the NHL without back-to-back regulation losses this season. Nashville beaten at home tonight by Minnesota 4-2. Well, depending what happens here tonight, another way the Red Wings could, if they could do something in regulation Saturday in Nashville, do that to the Predators. But the Red Wings don't want that to happen to them here tonight. But still plenty of time left in this one. Red Wings coming off the 1-0 loss to the LA Kings. Brought back in by Couture. One of those rare shifts he's not out there against Pavel Datsyuk. Seeing a little bit of double duty here. Look for a tip in front, did Couture. Puck to the corner. Marleau for Wingels to Couture. Blocker to side. Fought off by Howard. Loose side of the net. Brendan Smith out of the crowd with it. Able to get one ahead for Yurko. Yurko from his own side of center would have been best to go an extra 2 feet. Couldn't do it. And that'll be an icing charge against Detroit. Well, the Red Wings will be in Nashville Saturday, 2:30. Red Wings live on Fox Sports Detroit. So join us for that. And here's the battle for the President's Trophy for the best record in Nashville. Chris, despite losing to the Wild tonight, still leading the pack.
Yeah, a surprising team this year, but not anymore. Winning a lot of games, making a big trade. Friends from Toronto. And the Montreal Canadiens riding a hot goaltender, Carey Price, all season long. To me, the MVP of the National Hockey League, sitting there in second.
Peter Laviolette taking over from Barry Trotz, the only coach they knew prior to this season.
He was my coach in New York when I was there, really offensive-minded coach. He's brought that mentality over to Nashville. When you have the goalie, why not?
For sure. Here's Vlasic. Blocked in front, Smith. Thornton got in on Yurko. Red Wings want to get a change here. Smith made sure to get across center and in, and now fresh legs over the boards for Detroit. Thornton back to his line. Kronwall for Jonathan Ericsson. Riley Sheahan through the middle, flips it in and goes after it. Niemi pushed it along for Burns. But Nyquist got it back for Ericsson at the line for Riley Sheahan. First on it, quick shot. Hoping that Abdelkader could get one in on goal. Abdelkader tried again. Vlasic nearly had his pocket pick. And then good muscle along the boards by Barclay Goodrow.
Well, Jonathan Ericsson is not going to like this call.
Red Wings will be shorthanded here. So when we come back, it'll be a San Jose man advantage. You're watching Red Wings hockey on Fox Sports Detroit. Pulkkinen's tied up the game. Presented by Bell Tire. To play like it or don't like it with Chris Osgood.
I don't like this one bit. This is just too soft of a call for me. Los Angeles in a game where everything's let go, a very physical game. This is the same thing. Just a little love tap by Jonathan Ericsson. That doesn't warrant a penalty whatsoever. And my second look also on the Burns penalty to me shouldn't have been called either. Is my second look at that. To me now that's 3 calls that probably shouldn't have been made in the game. That 2 teams are really aggressive in a good hockey game. To me that's not a penalty.
So with that though, the Sharks will go to a power play. With Logan Couture, shot went off the skate, looks about to score! Marleau! His 13th. They answer the Red Wings power play goal with one of their own.
Yeah, and Burns gets us over to Couture just shoots this on the net, hits the backboards. Howard tries to get a stick on it, unable to. Marleau bangs home his 13th of the year, but this comes right off the draw. Just off kind of a broken play, just tries to get to the net. A good job by the Red Wings to get their sticks in the lane to allow that through by Glenn Denny. But the unfortunate bounce off the backboards eludes Howard, and Marleau is able to stuff that home in front of the net.
450th career goal for Patrick Marleau, now in his 17th season, and a two-time Olympic gold medalist, playing for Mike Babcock, who was asked about Marleau today and his struggles, and he said, if you want to send him my way, I'll still take him. 33 goals last season, and with his 13th now, he matches the lowest total he's had over a full season back when he was a rookie in 97-98 when he scored 13.
Usually a 30-goal scorer year in and year out. 13 right now, but capable of going on a huge run and getting somewhere close to that by the end of this season.
Captain of this team from 04 to 09. And along with Joe Thornton, who was captain from 2010 to 2014, the two of them without the C on their sweaters anymore, as Datsuk brings it in, drops it off. Here's to Kaiser, and Niemi will gobble it up and hold on. Pavelski and Couture drawing the helpers on the Marleau power play goal at 6:51.
Datsuk an inside-out move. The Sharks have seen plenty of that over the years. Datsuk, once again, just like in Los Angeles, garnering a lot of attention. San Jose is not giving him much space. When you're that talented, you're still able to make nice plays.
Tierney on that face-off that was won by Anderson for Kindle. Kindle the shot, and glove by Niemi. Well, let's take it back to March 2013. Logan Couture undressed by Pavel Datsuk. Watch this. He's done that to many through his career. Yep.
And that play, in all likelihood, the next day in the San Jose Sharks locker room was probably put on the big screen as they watched the video of the previous game.
No
for
mercy.
Sure. Guys probably had a good laugh of that, including Couture and Pavel Datsuk. He's not the only one that's been beaten like that.
Good win there back for Pulkkinen, as Anderson's done a nice job on the last two faceoffs. That puck is out of play as Marchenko moved in. So the faceoff will stay in the San Jose zone, this time coming up to the right of Antti Niemi. And look at Joe Pavelski, their leading goal getter with 31, and in points with 56 now, getting an assist on the Marleau goal. Not bad career for a 7th round pick, 205th overall in 03, now in his 9th season. And then he talked about the Red Wings finding the gems in the 6th round for Datsuk and 7th round for Zetterberg. Yeah, well, other teams do it too. And San Jose sure did with him. Backhanded to the far corner for Teemu Pulkkinen, who's got the Red Wing goal from Shane and Weiss in the power play. Irwin in a mix-up in there with Anderson. Still going at it. The whistle should go, and it will now, and they'll both be sitting for a couple, I would think. Nice to see some of that out of Joakim Anderson.
Not much more than just a wrestling match on the ice, though. Both teams engaging in the corner. San Jose's got some big defensemen as well as the LA Kings did the other night with the Red Wings, and they're real physical against Detroit, and San Jose's trying to do the exact same thing. I thought the Wings did a very good job in LA of putting up with the physicality of the Los Angeles Kings, and these guys aren't going to back down. Anderson does a good job here. Doesn't just roll over. Wrestles Irwin. You come out west here, California. These teams are big, aggressive, and I feel like the Red Wings have done a good job each and every game of really standing up to the physical play of these teams.
And we really saw that with the Los Angeles Kings, who seem to be getting their act together.
And I thought the Red Wings did a great job in that game of really matching the LA Kings physicality and gave themselves a chance to win throughout that whole game. Great job by Gustafsson in goal. He gave them a chance to win in the end. They just couldn't get one by quick.
LA was a lot more physical than the Anaheim Ducks were the night earlier. Good play by Eriksson. Carried through by Datsuk. Off a skate. His helm went to the net. Tied up by Vlasic. Back to come. 4-on-4 hockey. Late man Couture. Back in front. Good save off Marleau by Jimmy Howard.
This all happens with Helm falling down. Couldn't get back in the play, and a nice give and go by Burns and Marleau with a nice shot. And Howard read that perfectly. Burns has a rocket shot. He's capable of one-timing that, but elected to go back to Marleau. And Jimmy Howard did a great job of readjusting himself and getting a solid push from right to left, making a save.
Detroit controls the face-off as Brendan Smith. Couldn't connect with Sheahan as Justin Braun for San Jose sets up back in the Emmy, forced out of the pocket there by Sheahan. Flipping one ahead for Thornton, hoping it would go his way, but it wound up in the bench. Never did get that far. Family 4-packs now available for the Big Ten Men's Ice Hockey Tournament, March 19th, 20th, and 21st at the Joe. For just $49, you'll get 4 tickets, 4 pizza slices, and 4 soft drinks. For tickets, go to olympiaentertainment.com/Big Ten. 50 seconds away from the halfway point in this game. Ken Daniels, Chris Osgood, our Fox Sports Detroit crew with you. Glad you're with us watching tonight. And in Canada on Sportsnet 360. Brendan Dillon circles the goal, watched by Gus Nyquist. Defers to Braun. Back for Dillon. Turning back with it is Thornton. Braun finds Dillon, the defenseman right in on goal. Hit the goal post. Back close to a 2-goal bulge. Nyquist brings it back in along with Abdelkader, but it was cut off by Thornton. Braun and Dillon, who connected so nicely. And the long change here. Dillon, after that rush, not quite ready to go again at it. Sharks back in. Carlson with a attempt. And held by Howard. 2 seconds past the halfway point in the game, and San Jose leads by a goal.
Welcome back, in the San Jose Sharks almost make it 3-1 on this chance by Dillon. Braun with a nice pass. Smith and the Kaiser just got a little bit too much to the blue line. They got to be aware of the middle of the ice. Dillon comes in with a deep move and lucky off the post. But the Wings would have been down 2. 4-on-4, it's going to open up the ice a bit. The Kaiser and Smith got split a little bit too much, opening up the middle of the ice, and Dillon was able to slide through, receiving a pass from his defense partner, sending him in alone.
4-on-4 with Irwin and Anderson still in the box. Ooh, and the shot went off a body and just wide. Dumped out ahead for Sheahan. Kowalski carries back in, tried to go Thornton's way and hit a leg to the corner. Out of the box come Irwin and Anderson. It's the 17th minor penalty in the career of Joachim Anderson in 154 games. He's got a roughing penalty on his resume. I think as the story goes, although I'm not 100% sure, I think Nick Lidstrom had 1 roughing penalty his entire career. I believe that may have been a mistake. But
he didn't have a lot of penalties to go along with that lone roughing penalty.
No, I think there was just 1. Shot off the leg and wide. San Jose's Irwin couldn't hold it in. From center, Scott Hannon shoots it into the Detroit zone as it rims around. Picked up by Tomas Hertl. Hertl with 10 goals on the season. Saved by Howard. He'll hold on. With a crowd right there. Well, the Chicago Blackhawks on Tuesday, a huge blow as the collarbone injury and surgery for Patrick Kane gone 12 weeks. And they'd have to get to, round 3 of the playoffs or so if he to return. And now the thinking is that the Hawks will be busy to try, not that you can replace the leading scorer, however, that they'll look to do something before Monday's trade deadline expires. Off Glendening. That's out of play. There's been so much talk about Antoine Vermette going somewhere. He seems to be the most sought after.
Chicago could now be a landing place for him. They're obviously going to need to do something. In the Wild West, there's a lot of teams that are bundled up together in Chicago. They're just not trying to make the playoffs. They're trying to win. And now losing Kane, obviously, like you said, he's irreplaceable, but they're going to be busy at the trade deadline trying to make sure they get some guys that can at least lessen the blow.
See Winnipeg right there as they did well to replace injured bodies, and with Wheeler out in Minnesota, the big win tonight in Nashville, where the Red Wings will be on Saturday afternoon here on Fox Sports Detroit. That went off the stick of Chris Tierney. Trying to get free was Glendening. He couldn't. Moving up is Marchenko to intercept into the Shark zone. A shot by Yurko. Deflected. Hannon in front into the protective netting and a stop in play. Sharks with a 2-1 lead. Joe Thornton, the former captain of this team, has mentioned how distracting do you think that is in the dressing room, where Thornton and Marleau neither wanted to leave with no trade clauses and said, no, we want to stay. How is it that you have 2 former captains in the room and all the talk is about Joe Pavelski perhaps being the next captain?
And it's uncomfortable for all 3 of those players, and especially after that loss to the Los Angeles Kings.
Saved by Niemi and a couple on Helm.
Where they're up 3-0 and ended up losing the series 4-0 as the captain and as the players. You want that opportunity to come back and bounce back from that. Now you go into the room, and now it becomes a trust factor, whether you can trust management, whether the players can trust their coaches. When the players, especially your captain, Joe Thornton, Marleau, are being treated indifferently, now there's a trickle-down effect for the rest of the team, and really, you have to trust each other, not only the players, but the management and the coaches, and it's a ripple effect. And just to me, they haven't been able to right the ship since the start of the season, right from training camp on. They have good players, they have a very good team, they've just struggled, and when you don't have that structure and that hierarchy in a group of players, right from management down, things tend to get amiss, and I think that's what's happened with them this season.
And life and death to get in the playoffs right now. Helm denied on that last try as the Sharks still lead it 2-1. Abdelkader with Shane and Nyquist out for Detroit. The Sharks have mentioned have struggled here at home, but since 2005, San Jose is the best home record in the National Hockey League, winning 70% of their games. And yet this season, winless here in 6. Picking up just a couple of points in extra time. Thornton had knocked down Nyquist. Vlasic had it go off Shane. Shane cuts through. From his knees, tried to make a play, couldn't do it. Backhanded too far for Abdelkader. Over there is Carlson to bring it to center. Rink wide feed, Thornton catches up to it. Forced back at the line. Pavelski couldn't handle it. As Shane, good move to keep control for Abdelkader. Loops one in. Matt Irwin. Around it goes for Barclay Goodrow. Along with Tierney. And Tyler Kennedy for the Sharks. Batted at center. Polkinen got it through. Anderson to the forehand. Back in front. Oh, and that didn't miss by much. Here's Polkinen with it. Shooting one with block. Marchenko took a hard hit but got it back. Weiss made the play to Anderson. Knocked aside by Niemi, then Polkinen. That just missed. Polkinen scored that goal for the Red Wings against his countryman. Polkinen turns in the corner with it. Still has it. Shot in, and that'll be held. And Teemu Pokkanen, who grew up knowing Niemi very well, scored his second NHL goal against him here tonight. Antti Niemi had his sweater retired back in his hometown of Vantaa, Finland, and that's where Teemu Pokkanen is from, and he was there for the retirement ceremony back in the summer, so they're close friends, and sure enough, he gets his second NHL goal against the Sharks netminder here tonight. Puck back of the net for Vlasic. Pavel Datsyuk in defensive posture, got back. Finds Tatar in full flight into the San Jose zone. Tatar turns inside the line. Leaving it there for Pavel Datsyuk. Trying to fight off the check was Helm. Got tied up though by Burns. And Tatar knocks down Vlasic. Couture met by Helm. Who went off the skate to the line for DeKeyser. Back in down low for Helm. This line's had some good opportunities for the Red Wings tonight. Helm, Datsyuk, and Tatar. Red Wings were outshot in the opening period, 14-4. Who's down by 4 shots now and down by 1 goal. Each team has scored on the power play. Sharks opened the scoring at even strength before Pokkanen tied it. And then untied by Marleau. And 6:51 of this second period. Ron got it for Dillon. Eriksson, good job to knock it away from Carlson. And Glendening with the shot in that Niemi will hold.
Eason brings you the drive to the net. Pokkanen here doing a good job of getting available and open. Weiss throwing down the stick, the feet of Vlasic, who lost his stick, and then Shane does a good job to shovel the puck across to Pokkanen, who found the opening and slammed it home with authority. Made sure that was in on his countryman Niemi.
Pokkanen had been on that great roll too in the American Hockey League before being called up. 10 goals and 18 points his last 11 games with Grand Rapids. And despite all the different players coming and going, Jeff Blasber's done a nice job keeping his team up atop the division.
What a testament to the Grand Rapids Griffins, not only the coaches but the players as well.
Gus Nyquist, who was tutored by Jeff Blashill, flips one over for Brendan Smith. Matt Irwin, as Nyquist forces him up ice. For Pavelski and into the Detroit end. Jimmy Howard moving it for Kindle. Marchenko, another Griffin call-up. And Xavier Ouellet has been going back and forth. Called offside. Fastest to 300 wins among NHL coaches. The two good friends here tonight. Todd McClellan, who was an assistant when the Red Wings won the Cup. The Mike Babcock in 2008. And then moving on here to San Jose. He's got 1 year left on his contract with the Sharks. And many are thinking that if San Jose does not make the playoffs or advance very far, McClellan may not see the final year of his contract. But I would think that if he's let go, he would be snapped up within moments around the National Hockey League, and so much depends on where Mike Babcock winds up next season, who's an unrestricted coach as of now.
He'll probably shoot right up the list as well. Todd McClellan would be coach that would be sought after by a lot of teams.
Back to get it is Anderson. Lead pass by Kindle off Datsyuk. The Red Wings are in the midst of a change. Under 3 to play here in the period. I was in the Sharks coach's office today and had a chance to speak with Larry Robinson. The great Larry Robinson as Datsyuk brings it in. Good pass. Oh, and Tatar just missed on the short side. Robinson added to McClellan's coaching staff, but of late doesn't travel much on the road, does mostly the home games. Just the wear and tear on his body, Larry Robinson, after what he went through in his National Hockey League careers. Niemi will hold on.
This latest opportunity for the Wings is made by Datsyuk again. Tatar sent in alone. Just misses wide, misses a shot that he usually hits net on that blocker side, but Niemi over-aggressive on that side, takes away everything, really comes out, challenges enough to make Tatar miss that shot wide.
Niemi, as we say, an unrestricted free agent. He may not be back in San Jose. He may not be by the deadline, but maybe in summer. But there will be a lot of teams that Antti Niemi could help who will be looking for first goaltending support.
Edmonton Oilers, a young team that could really use a veteran goaltender who's won the Stanley Cup to really give them some confidence back there moving forward.
The question in San Jose, if Niemi's not here, who will be? Here's a shot by Kronwall, just high and wide. Abdelkader in front. Niemi got a blocker on that. Thornton turns in his own zone and lost it. Pressure Detroit right in front. Oh, what a save on Kronwall. Another shot. Oh, and Niemi's got that too. Oh, the save of the game right there.
Wow, that rebound save was just as good, if not better, than that first opportunity. Thornton, an ill-advised try in his own end in front of his goal, turns into a turnover, and Kronwall with the opportunity. Beautiful save on the initial shot by Niemi, but this one's just as good. The backhander, this is the initial save here off Kronwall, but this one here, he battles, finds his puck, watches head, watches eyes, follow the rebound, makes a nice save, and that's headed into the net through between his arm and his body. Tough angle, but still he manages to really pinch that puck somehow between his arm and his body and keep the score 2-1.
Off the draw. Got through! To the goal line. Did it go in? They say no. They'll go to review regardless. But the referee right there says nope, it did not get all the way over the line. Chris Rooney right on top of it.
Rooney did a great job of following this puck towards the goal line. Really tracked it well for a referee. Did his job right. Quick play off the draw. Quick snapshot by Polkin, and here's trickling in, and Niemi does a great job to get back. Quick shot, hits the inside of the body of Niemi, trickles towards the post, doesn't cross the line. Weiss desperately diving to try and get that one past and poke it in. Was unable to get her. Niemi does a great job to get back and smother that puck up.
Now they'll be in conversation, but it'll be a short one with the Situation Room back in Toronto.
Yeah, Rooney did a really good job.
The call on the ice stands, no goal.
Boy, and Stephen Weiss just a day late and $1 short the other night. And then tonight.
Yeah, he had that chance in Los Angeles as well, and here another chance. Just a half a second later, he would have poked that home to tie this game up. Weiss, who I think has been skating well on this trip, really attacked the net here. Just did not get there in time, and Niemi, give him some credit. He did a good job to get back and get that puck.
So a much better second period for Detroit than the first, despite still being down by a goal after tying up the game. Holken and Weiss and Anderson have had a good night thus far. Marchenko got support back there from Datsyuk. Two Red Wing Russians together. This could be icing. Called against the Sharks, so a face-off back in the San Jose zone as the Antti Niemi continues to do against Detroit what he's done throughout his career. Best versus any team, a marvelous record for the Sharks goaltender.
From a goaltender standpoint, you're always going to have 2-3 teams that you enjoy playing against, and no matter what you do, things tend to go the right way for you. For Niemi, the Red Wings are one of those teams.
See that wide edging shot for Detroit here in the second, but the Sharks have scored on one of their 6. The Marleau power play goal. Holkonen power play goal for the Red Wings. Irwin, the other goal for the Sharks. Half minute to go in the period. Marc-Edouard Vlasic lost the battle there to Tatar, who got rubbed out by Couture. And then Helm helped to get the puck back to Thomas Tatar. 15 to go in the period. Tatar spinning back for Datsyuk, skate to stick. Leaving it there for Danny DeKeyser. Looks in front. What a save! Oh my goodness! 2 in a row by Niemi. This time on Thomas Tatar as the the period comes to its conclusion. And Niemi, as the fans stand, thank the fine Finnish netminder for keeping their team in the lead. They could easily be down by 1.
These saves are better than the previous two, believe it or not. And Tatar, just the way this play materialized, Tatar coming in late. This passes through 2 screens. Niemi tracks it beautifully, makes a great left leg save, and has the presence to stick that big catching glove up high and take away the elevation angle and make 2 great saves to give the Sharks that 1-goal lead after 2.
Encouragement there from Mike Babcock as his team heads out. Our MGM Grand Detroit second intermission report. We'll revisit the Pulkkinen goal and revisit determination. Some of the what makes Pavel Datsyuk so great. Darren Elliott, Johnny Kane in our studio.
Welcome back to San Jose with the Sharks leading here 2-1. Pavel Datsuk's been fabulous. Creativity off the charts. Watch the vision here, finding Tatar up high. Multiple moves, kind of punched that puck back with his stick. Passes in so many different ways, finds players, opens up Helm for a breakaway opportunity, and flips it over the San Jose Sharks defender's stick. Passes it to Tatar for another chance. Wow, he makes players around him better. Mike Babcock saying the best two-way forward in the world. And Pavel Datsyuk right there showing us why.
Well, a much better second period for Pavel Datsyuk and the Red Wings after being outshot 14-4 in the first. They outshot the Sharks 18-6 in the second, and as they repair the ice prior to start the third period, we remind you to stay tuned to Red Wings Live following the game, where we will select the Fox Sports Detroit Red Wings Player of the Game, presented by the 2 for $5 Big Mac. Johnny Kane and Darren Elliott will lead you through that. Ken Daniels, Chris Osgood, Trevor Thompson with you from the SAP Center in San Jose. Teemu Pulkkinen has the Red Wings goal on the power play. Glad you're with us tonight on Fox Sports Detroit and Sportsnet 360 in Canada. As Burns plays one ahead out of Wingo's reach. Howard back of the goal. Brendan Smith caught up to it. Tatar has Datsyuk and Helm in front of him. Swings it over for Danny DeKeyser. To the far side, Datsyuk tried to backhand it deep. He got checked as Marleau flips one past Brendan Smith. This will be icing. Face-off back in the Shark zone. The Red Wings quickly use the opportunity to make a change, and San Jose cannot. Danny DeKeyser with 2 of the Red Wings' 22 shots tonight. The team leader in that regard. Darren Helm has 6 through 40 minutes of play. A few Sharks have 3, including Patrick Marleau, who's got one of their goals to lead them. Now San Jose will get their change in after the icing. With Jonathan Ericsson. Skating through comes Shan. Goes to get that puck. Tapped it in behind for Gus Nyquist. And then Ericsson couldn't handle it. He's being forced. Good play there by Carlson and just missing the Sharks. Thornton pulls it back in to the high slot, blocked off Pavelski by Kronwall. Sheahan stopped at center. Applicator couldn't get through. Red Wings in the midst of a change. Braun puts it deep. The defenseman goes after it. Watched by Kindle. Marchenko for Yurko. To the left side for Glendening. Back for Yurko. Yurko gets tied up. Slapped off the boards by the Sharks. Glove down by Kindle. Into a crowd. Glendening got it back to the line. Marchenko to Kindle. Quick shot and an easy save for Antti Niemi to make.
The Red Wings narrowly escape going down 3-1 here. Thornton, he's got a great wrist shot. Really releases that quick. Catches the outside of a left post over top of Howard's glove hand there. But Thornton, underrated shot. Very quick and hard. Was almost able to beat Howard there high to the glove side.
Joe Thornton in his 17th season, former first overall pick of Boston. 12 goals, 52 points in the year for Thornton. Kicked back to the line, but off a leg. Brendan Smith had the attempt on goal. Kennedy puts it deep for the Sharks. The Kaiser coughed it up. Quick shot went off a leg. Back to the line for Irwin. Knocked away. Kicked down there by Goodrow. Cannon into a crowd. It deflects off Polkinen. Then off the leg of Anderson. Irwin kept it in. Tierney along with Barclay Goodrow, the 22-year-old rookie. Squirts free, back of the net. Goodrow turning with it again. And brought on here by Weiss for Anderson. And again from far out, Niemi will hold on and a face-off to his right. Brent Burns mentioned 16 goals. And there's 45 points, third. And in the last 9 games, 5 of those goals, they say, is when he skates backwards is not his strength. That's why many thought he might be a better forward than defenseman. Great offense from the backhand. Datsuk in to get it. Vlasic for San Jose. Couture. Datsuk stumbled, get their first for Kindle. Brent Burns turns in his own zone. May not be the best at skating backwards as a defenseman, but boy, can he fly when he gets a chance. Marchenko, good takeaway there on Marlowe. Move for Datsuk. For Tatar, helm to the goal. Tatar cuts right in on goal, and he was hooked down to the ice. And then taken down by Marlowe. Rimley's thought there should have been a call. Kronwall moved in from his defense spot. And Tatar still digging for it. Helm with the move. And the shot was blocked. Pavelski at center, knocked off stride by Datsuk, swinging it wide for Helm too far. And the face-off will come back 200 feet. Only Darren Helm with the 6 shots after 2 periods. Tatar's had some nice opportunities tonight. Late in period number 2 and 1 here early in the third.
Thomas Tatar with a great opportunity here to tie this up. To really dart it through the middle, used that left hand to shield off the San Jose Shark defender's stick. Then was tripped up, but no call was made.
Some of the calls that were, you might say, ticky-tack both ways earlier tonight. Against Detroit and against San Jose.
It's tough on the players this game to game, not knowing which way the referees are going to ref. And in LA, where everything for the most part was let go. Now tonight here, Jonathan Ericsson penalty. That's kind of where things were headed. And it's tough on the players.
And the strange thing is that was gloved down. It seemed to be grabbed and held by Carlson, closing his hand on it. And these are the same 2 referees who worked the game in LA. Long pass onside for Nyquist, turning on Dillon. No one to help him though. Now we'll go back the other way. Nyquist going to get dizzy. We've seen that before from him though. Tried to go back to Sheahan, it was knocked away. Sheahan with a good turn to get away from Braun. Back for Nyquist, looks in front to Abdelkader. Couldn't get there, just hit a skate. Abdelkader turns with it to the line for DeKaiser. That went off the leg of Joe Thornton who blocked it. Then Braun holding up Abdelkader, and it's going to be a penalty. Sharks are going to be shorthanded for holding. Braun not questioning that one.
Yeah, Braun not a single complaint to the referee there, really skating to the penalty box, feeling some shame after really just wrapping up Abdelkader. Football style, taking him to the ice. Doesn't get much more obvious than that. Red Wings with a big opportunity here. They got to get some shots on net. They haven't been very potent on their power play up to this point. They might want to simplify it, get pucks back to the point with traffic in front of Niemi, who looks sharp. They got to take away his eyesight right here.
And Abdelkader kept his feet moving on that one too to ensure the call. So the Red Wings, a Bell Tire power play. Datsyuk, Tatar, Abdelkader, Nyquist, and Kronwall. And they get to that puck to the line. Kronwall for Pavel Datsyuk on the right side. Couture and Wingels for the Sharks in front. Oh, and off the crossbar. Tipped in front of the goal by Gus Nyquist. And the bar, and it stayed out. So each team with some iron here early in the third. Datsyuk went for Nyquist, came back to the line for Thomas Tatar. Pressured immediately by Wingels and surrendered the puck as Couture sends a long one down. Red Wings now out shooting the Sharks after that awful first period. Tatar back for Nyquist, just too far, Scott Hannon. Tatar got checked as Marleau was on him. And a pair eights came together there as Abdelkader gave Pavelski a nudge. Pavel Datsyuk through the middle as the Sharks and Red Wings change their special team. Datsyuk for Abdelkader. Swings one back. Kindle the shot off the body and wide. Teemu Pulkkinen with the Red Wings goal on the power play. Has it again, right point, slap shot. Oh, and a hard one that Niemi grabs, but you can see what Teemu Pulkkinen gets on that shot. Even from long range, that one from about 55 feet.
Now that appeared to have stunned Niemi, who's really battling to get some vision of this puck. Past Helm doing a good job screening in front. Takes that high in the neck area, obviously stung. And here's Datsyuk using this great offensive ability and just a little tip by Nyquist. Nothing more than that. Nothing rocketed up over the shoulder. Niemi off the crossbar. Nice setup play by the Red Wings there.
Still plenty of time left in this man advantage. Detroit, Sheahan with Helm and Pulkkinen as the Sharks get that face-off down. Kindle and Stephen Weiss. Jakob Kindle, 2-goal scorer in Dallas last Saturday as the Red Wings go offside. Kindle in for Kyle Quincy, who got the green light as soon as he's ready and back in shape to get going again with those bone spurs in his foot for Quincy. Kindle's done a nice job filling in, but Kyle Quincy and Danny DeKeyser have maybe been the Red Wings' best defense duo, and Quincy should be back sooner rather than later.
Quincy and DeKeyser did a great job of being kind of that shutdown pairing for the Red Wings here and on this road trip. Missing Quincy obviously hurts, but I really feel Kindle's done a very nice job in there, especially on the power play, moving pucks up. His first passes have been good, and he's been physical.
And he's got one now with a pass ahead for Helm into the zone. Some smooth moves by Helm in. Oh, and a piece from Niemi right there as Weiss let it go. Set up smartly by Helm and Kindle. Kindle again. Angled through to Teemu Pulkkinen, penalty over. Pulkkinen, the shot sails wide. And all the way back down ice in a race for it. And the rest of Braun out of the box goes to get it. Kindle tries to seal him there. Puck came free into Kaiser. Yurko working with Glendening, who's in. Glendening to the goal. Not enough real estate there with which to work. Laid back at center by Smith, and Yurko took a high stick in the head. There's going to be another penalty here to San Jose, as the Red Wings will get an extra skater for Howard. Brendan Smith tipped at the Sharks line and in. And the whistle goes. So when we come back, Yurko took a high stick. The Red Wings are going to head to a power play here in San Jose.
Welcome back to the Rings. About to go on a power play here. Pulkkinen's been great tonight. Really sharp, using his strength. He's not the biggest of stature for a player, but uses that body well, shields the puck. Does a good job here to be patient, finding his teammates for open shots, making players better here. That quick, hard shot is almost lose Niemi right off the draw. Doing a good job here. Rocket shot from the point. Off of Niemi high, stuns him a bit, and here's his goal. Really buries it. That's what I like most about that. That's a goal scorer. Make sure that he hit that. Great goal.
4th round pick in 2010. Didn't have a good draft year. And the year after the draft, he set a Finnish league assist record. So not all about his shot. And he broke Teemu Selänne's record. So that says something in itself. Whenever you can post to the great Teemu Selänne, Teemu Pulkkinen did that over in Finland. So the Red Wings on a Bell Tire power play, and it's 4 minutes to Matt Nieto. As the injury to Yurko. Shot is blocked. So this is the chance for Detroit with 8 gone in the third period. On this Bell Tire power play with a half minute gone in the 4 minutes they've got. Volkanen's on the right. Kronwall goes to the left for Helm. Lost it at center. Volkanen, he'll just shoot it in, but it'll go right to Burns. Killing off some more time for San Jose. Knocked down by Couture, but the Red Wings have it. So nothing going so far in this man advantage. Volkanen brings it in, firing! And that was stopped by Niemi. And again, we make those references so often to Brett Hull and how he looks like him. We're not saying he'll ever score like him, but wow.
That's a rocket shot right there again by Volkanen, who's been shooting plenty tonight. Niemi coming out of the blue to cut down that angle and making that save look relatively easy off a heavy shot from Volkanen.
Who has Sheahan now to take the draw. Helm on the right. Helm able to come up with the puck. Double team though, and Sheahan got in front of Thornton. And a hand pass call. Face-off will come outside. Red Wings with the best power play in the National Hockey League at just over 25%, and there's their leader in that department. Gus Nyquist, one of the leaders in the league, and Joe Pavelski for San Jose in this game tonight. A couple behind Alex Ovechkin. And Nyquist in some pretty good company. 12 of his 21 with the man advantage. Pavel Datsyuk. Nyquist over to retrieve it. With Tatar, Advocators screening the end. Pavel Datsyuk again. Kronwall. The shot missed the net. Burns down the icicle. Double minor in effect to Matt Nieto. Datsyuk forced wide by Marley. Then Vlasic follows him. Oh, and Datsyuk just got out of the way of a Brent Burns hip check. He did that and gets it down the ice. Burns has been solid tonight. San Jose with the lead here with 2 huge points on the line for them. The outside of the playoff picture looking in. One of the teams are chasing Minnesota. One in Nashville tonight. Weiss gave that puck away. Wingels centered. Kendall there to block. Wingels then bumped by Howard. Got away with that. Helm carries in. To the line for Kendall. Back for Helm. To Kendall. Weiss gives it back. Kendall the shot blocked. Wingels in front of him. Kendall will try again. Poking and fires, and that'll stop. By Niemi holds on. Second shot on the power play by Detroit, and there's just 1:04 remaining in the 4-minute man advantage.
There's a nice attempt by the Red Wings. Kendall with the quick pass over to Pulkkinen for the one-timer, but if the Red Wings are going to want to get a puck past Niemi, they're going to have to get somebody in front of his eyes. It's hard to get a screen in front of a goaltender when you're passing off for the side for the one-timers. Shane's got to figure out a way to get in front there. Datsyuk just avoiding the check by the big body of Burns, who comes flying in. Kind of awkwardly backwards skating. Datsyuk sees him at the last second, jumps by the check.
Since the Red Wings were outshot 14-4, they've outshot San Jose 23-7. So it's been a wide edge since that time. Abdelkader drives to the goal himself. At the line, Datsyuk couldn't keep it in. Nyquist tried to play it over, couldn't on to Datsyuk in full flight. Pavel Datsyuk right in the goal, knocked off the stick, rebound, and Niemi sprawling makes the save. Nyquist, Kronwall. Tatar, back to Kronwall. There's a shot. Niemi the save. Datsuk back to Kronwall. 20 seconds left in the man advantage. Nyquist. Aaron on that pass back to Kronwall. Datsuk off on a change. 10 seconds remaining in the man advantage Detroit Advocator. De Kaiser at the left point. Shot by Smith, sailed wide, penalty over. Huge penalty kill for San Jose. Crowd appreciates that. Irwin lost it to Yurko. Yurko's injury, the reason the Red Wings had 4 minutes with which to work. Yurko turning, trying to get away from Irwin. Good stick check there by the Sharks defenseman. Then Miller boxed out his man. Came up with the puck. Good work on James Shepherd. Grabbed by Hertl. Irwin plays it up the boards. Nieto tries to move it. Turning was Hertl. Slapped away by Nieto. Big opportunity lost there for Detroit to get even in this game. Weiss ahead to Pulkkinen. Rising shot, nothing but glass. Weiss and Thornton, who got it out to center ice. Rifled back in by Pulkkinen. And right back out by the Sharks, too far for Pavelski. Alexei Marchenko for Pulkkinen. A righty to a righty. It's a rarity on this team. Pulkkinen with a long shot. That'll be held by Antti Niemi. The Red Wings trailing by 1. Late stages of the third in San Jose.
Welcome back in. Niemi's been unbelievable tonight. Probably 10 great saves, and these are just a few of them. Nice little stick check on Helm there. And here, the pad save. His legs have been phenomenal tonight. Really tracking pucks. To me, this was one of his best. Sealed that tight here. Just get enough of Pulkkinen to keep that out of the net. And this was late in the second. Tatar, 2 fabulous opportunities. Wouldn't go. Really finding pucks through traffic. And Datsuk here and alone. Not the initial save. The second one, great again. But his pad work has been outstanding tonight. Really is the reason why the Sharks are up by 1 in this hockey game.
And if this score were to stay the same, as Tatar shoots one, Niemi, another big save. He's stolen 2 points if this score ends this way for the Sharks.
And you couldn't say that about Quick getting the shutout the other night from Los Angeles. Only 20 shots, not a lot of good ones. Here tonight, the Red Wings have tons of great opportunity.
Tatar spinning back with it. The Red Wings still trying to get that equalizer. They do! Pavel Datsuk gets it through. This game's tied up at 2. The Magic Man pulled that one out of his hat right there.
Tatar with the pass to Datsuk, and this is how it works sometimes. Unbelievable saves by Niemi off far better chance than this, and just a backhander thrown on net by Datsuk, hoping for this exact result with traffic in front. But the Red Wings have had way better opportunities to score than this one, and this just found its way through. Burns in front. 2 players in front screening Niemi, who couldn't track that as it finds a way between his arm and his body, but it's funny how things work out some way. Niemi, who's been outstanding for this entire night, making great save after great save, and just a innocent backhander thrown on net by Datsuk ends up tying this hockey game.
And his 7th goal the past 7 games, and his 8th point the past 5 for Pavel Datsuk. And a save there not by Niemi. And you can't say the Red Wings didn't deserve that one, the way they've been piling on. It was whatever was said, Chris, after the first period seemed to have worked.
Well, you could see Tatar there did a nice job. He had the puck, and then he actually looked over the goal and saw Datsuk wide open in front of that. He just had to change the angle to get that pass to Datsuk. He did a good job to get that backhander on the net. And they've had plenty of opportunity, and they earned that goal.
Niemi seemed to see that one at the last second and just off the cheater on the backhand from Pavel Datsuk. As the game is all even, Tatar getting the assist at 13:32. At the point, Thornton knocked down The Eriksson attempt and turns in his own line. Chipped in by Pavelski. Sheahan for Miller. Just pumped it out to center. Detroit wants a change here. Scott Hannon with the shooting. Glendening stuffed it along the boards. Eriksson stayed with it. Yurko made sure to lift one down ice, and it hit a player in the bench. And with that, the faceoff will be back in the Red Wing zone when we come back. Nashville Wild highlights in a moment. And we'll head to Nashville tomorrow to meet the Predators Saturday afternoon here on Fox Sports Detroit. To look at our game summary and look at the shot difference from the first period when the Red Wings had nothing going. But after that, this last 35 or so, all Detroit. Each team with a power play goal. And Pavel Datsyuk's tied it up. As Thomas Tatar gets an assist for his 45th point and 19th point the past 19 games for Tatar.
Detroit's second goal. Added assist to number 65, Danny DeKeyser.
And Danny DeKeyser's got the other assist on that Datsyuk goal. Hannon through the middle, knocked away by Kindle. Back come the Red Wings again. A good pace here in the last two periods Detroit has. After being unable to get their legs going in the first. After San Jose scored the early goal 7 minutes in. Here's Kindle. Red Wings changing. Kindle sends it deep. Comes around to Marlin. Couture. Knocked aside by Smith. Smith on the loose puck. Left side, Helm. Second attempt that came out as Wingels has it at center. Back into his own zone. Vlasic for Wingels. Tommy Wingels interfered with a bit by Smith. Came back to the line for Burns. Burns the shot, it was blocked. Burns again for Vlasic. Smith's hurt in front of the goal. There's a penalty coming here as Couture could be going as Brendan Smith is down. Pete Van Zandt making his way to attend to the Red Wing defenseman. He's tangled up with Logan Couture in the slot. And did he slew foot him? Let's see. I think he did. No doubt about that one.
And a dangerous play at that. Hard for Smith to protect himself as he's going down.
Now the officials are all conferring on how I would think the severity of what this slew foot is, or did another referee see something else? Now Smith's going off injured. He went down hard on what was a clear slew foot.
Couture doesn't look like he thinks he's getting a penalty at all. He was closer to the San Jose Sharks bench.
Well, the play was stopped if he's not. Boy, that would be something, but well, he's got 2 minutes, and Brendan Smith's got 2. Wow.
Red Wings penalty.
Here's the call.
To Brendan Smith. 2 minutes for hooking. Sharks penalty. Number 30, Logan Couture. 2 minutes for tripping.
So Couture gets tripping. Brendan Smith's got hooking. So Weiss goes in to serve the 2 for Smith, who's gone to the Red Wings dressing room.
And Smith got the penalty on the initial forecheck, which would have been a very late call made by the referee.
So that's the hook they called, and that's the slew foot. All right. So a little more room out there with the teams 4-on-4. And that's called on the offside. Well, get your fill of Red Wings hockey. The Pick 3 pack starting at just $111. Choose 3 games from a pre-selected list. Get purchase priority for the Stanley Cup playoffs for the Red Wings for a 24th consecutive season. To pick your 3-pack now, go to DetroitRedWings.com/pick3. Tatar and Sheahan, DeKeyser and Kindle, Marleau and Wingles up front for San Jose. Drawn with a pass for Tommy Wingles. 12 goals in the season for Wingles. Marleau, who is his 13th tonight up there for the Sharks. Riley Sheahan joining his Kindle. Long shot. Tatar on the rebound. Tatar crossing to get some space, but Wingles not fighting. So Tatar will try the other way. Red Wings changing their defense, and he left it there. Kronwall off the bench. And the shot hit a stick and deflected wide. Dillon at his own line. Red Wings complete a change. Datsuk and Helm over the boards. As Marchenko joins Kronwall. With Smith gone to the room, the Red Wings down to 5 defensemen. 2:35 to go in the third period. Coughed up at the line to Datsuk. Alexei Marchenko swings it wide for Helm. Tried to get through to Datsuk, but back to intercept was Matt Nieto. Now with that good speed, here comes Helm. Working on Burns. Helm turns to the line. Eriksson the shot. Marchenko back for Helm. No one in front. Good turn by Helm as the team's back at 5 aside. And then his pass couldn't connect with Datsuk. Riley Sheahan tried to knock it down. They had about 10 Sharks on the ice. But no one coming on for the other plated, so not too many men. Intercepted. Here's Abdelkader. Nyquist. Shot blocked by Hannon. Here comes Abdelkader back in. A rising shot from Glendening. Nyquist able to get it. Glendening backhander. Scores! Luke Glendening with 1:15 to play. It's 3-2 Detroit.
An absolute beautiful shift by this line. Nyquist with a great play. Quickly gets it up front to Glendening, who does a great spinorama. Niemi doesn't adjust this spinorama. He stays on the angle, square to his body, not the stick. Glendening moves this puck out, opens up the angle, which allows him to elevate that puck into the top corner, high over Niemi, who gets a stick down low, makes himself small. He hasn't done that a lot tonight. Opened up Glendening with a nice backhander to give the Wings a lead.
You know, he played for Red Berenson, who had a great backhand when he played, and that's his 9th career goal for Luke Glendening. Safe to say, what, 6 or 7 of them have come on the backhand.
Yeah, a lot of them. He's starting to get known for that, but what a play. Nyquist, very headsy play to get that up front, and a great play. Now the goaltender for the Sharks are out. Open net.
Well, Niemi's gone to the bench. The Sharks pressing here for the equalizer with a minute to go in the third period. 6 skaters for San Jose. Eriksson tried to get it down.
At 65, DeKeyser at 18:45.
Oh, and the shot glanced. I don't know what that hit on the way through. A body. I don't know if that grazed the bar. Anderson was on Couture. Fans wanted a call, and there's something coming here. Penalty upcoming. It'll be Joachim Anderson. It's going to be 6 against 4 for San Jose. Anderson's going to the box.
Great game, Detroit. 2 minutes high sticking.
The high sticking call.
Anderson just trying to get aggressive to get to this puck. Swoops around, loses control of his stick. Hits Couture high, and now San Jose is going to have a 6-on-4 opportunity with 40 seconds here remaining in the third period.
So, Todd McCullough, Jay Woodcroft gather the troops for a timeout. Back in a moment. The hero for the moment Luke Glendening on the draw. And 6-on-4. As the Red Wings are shorthanded. Goes wide of the net. Back in. Loose puck. Glendening tried to get there. Miller on it. He'll send it down for the empty net and go wide. 15 seconds to go. One last rush here for San Jose on the power play. Lead pass for Pavelski. Into the zone, off the leg. Glendening fitting. He should clear it. Got it again. And the Red Wings are going to win this game by a final score of 3-2. They win in San Jose that are few and far between. And they stop the Sharks' 4-game winning streak against them as the Red Wings win for just the third time the past 15 tries against the San Jose Sharks in regulation. And for that, the Red Wings once again have not lost 2 consecutive games in regulation. They win again.
That's incredible. Speak of incredible, Luke Glendening's goal. Let's take a look at Big Boy's big play of the game. Beautiful spinorama past Niemi, really changed the angle of the stick. Key to that, not only change of angle, but how quick Glendening was able to make this move off big Joe Thornton. That's not an easy guy to get body position on, but Glendening manages to do just that, and a beautiful backhander past Niemi, giving the Wings a 3-2 victory in San Jose.
And the time of the goal, 18:45. De Kaiser getting the second helper since being outshot 14-4 in the first. The Red Wings outshot the Sharks 30-8 the rest of the way, and 12-2 in the third period. So after a lackluster first, boy, did they ever come on. Tough to keep track of Montreal, but Tampa Bay, who's had some time off, will play tomorrow with the Blackhawks. And the Red Wings within one of the Lightning now, with still 2 games in hand. It's going to be quite the race to the finish. But in a place where the Red Wings rarely win, they come up with 2 huge points tonight. And for San Jose, huge 2 points lost in their desperate fight for the playoffs.